which says that if you join another political party, you automatically cease to be a member of the MDC. We produced that. And together with affidavits signed by the MPs to say we are no longer members of the MDC. And then we won. And by the way, Tatenda, people say when I win in court, I have been aided by some, meaning I'm not clever enough to win in court. And some of the people I was arguing against were my law students. I had taught them at Great Zimbabwe University, at the University of Zimbabwe. I had taught them from first year to fourth year. And they were now contesting against me in a court of law. And when I won, they were the first to say that I was favored. Now, normally when you fight the master, normally the master wins.
Yeah, but then the
Send forward the door.
student will also be the master. Okay, Senator. Taking into context all you've said, we've seen, like you've talked about the friction between the current opposition forces. Right now, we need a collective voice to fight against the injustice that we see that is manifesting the manifestation of autocracy, a different kind of tyranny we are seeing. We are now witnessing that is aided and backed by conclusively and definitively by security forces. As the opposition, is there any chance of you working together to fight against this agenda? Because a lone voice cannot stand. The last tweet I saw, you actually the first opposition leader to call a press conference to denounce the 2030 agenda, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he spoke out about it. But now, alone, you cannot. How can I put it? You cannot easily face ZANU-PF at all. Is there any way or any hope of you and Nelson Chamisa coming to the same table and saying, look here, brother, yes, we might have our differences, but let's fight our common enemy? Or are you no enemies beyond conciliation, especially considering what happened at funeral of Honorable Gremo Akatenglen?
Well, first of all, it was the fallen cry. It has been the fallen cry of the MDC that it welcomes the unity of all progressive forces in order to fight the dictatorship. So it is critically important that we don't digress from that. And we have said that we must unite. In fact, in my press conference, I called for opposition unity. And I'm happy to say that after the press conference, we saw the church weighed in. We saw war veterans, other political civil society. But beyond justice, they are saying the truth. They know what it is to suffer for this country, only for it to go to waste. They didn't go to war in order to come and please a family, to please a group of corrupt people, corrupt individuals who feed at the expense of the nation. They didn't fight so that our lithium, our gold, our platinum will be siphoned away by foreigners with the aid of the corrupt locals to develop foreign lands. They didn't fight for that. So we as the MDC have been calling for unity of purpose. But the problem with my colleagues within the opposition is that when somebody thinks of something, no matter how good it is, they want to destroy it. We thought about delimitation in 2022, 2023. We thought about delimitation and we said this is wrong. We had more information because we were in parliament. I was in parliament as leader of the opposition. And I said, this is wrong. I called everybody that we should fight delimitation. The other opposition, when we were in the constitutional court, sent a lawyer to try to destroy my case. And fast forward, we are talking about a threat to democracy, the 2030 agenda, which will make Zimbabwe a pariah state in the eyes of the world, a laughing stock, complete laughing stock in the eyes of the world. And what are the other opposition people say? Sending trolls on social media, trying to make violence against me at a funeral, The real reason why I was being attacked at that funeral was because I was the first to talk about against the 2030 agenda. It happened to be an agenda, happened to be a fight that the people of Zimbabwe agreed with. And the petty jealousy set in, and people started fighting opposition versus opposition. That's one. Number two, not everybody who says they are opposition is opposition. There are people who want to start violence ahead of the referendum. Opposition people want to start violence ahead of the referendum so as to justify the violence that ZANU-PF is going to unleash during referendum. So they want to create an excuse for ZANU to say, so that ZANU-PF says it's the opposition that is violent first. So here are the targeted. So they are working for ZANU-PF. That is why, Tatenda, up to now, nobody has been arrested.
But as a major opposition political party, are you ready to stand as the vanguard of the people? In instances like you've just described, where there will be, obviously there's going to be violence, there's going to be a referendum, and we all know the operations and the chicanery there of the states and their unlimited resources. And there's also, you've mentioned also the alleged insinuations of opposition members also contributing towards the justification for ZANU-PF to use violence. Why are you going to stand violent in true nature of the history of the movement for democratic change?
We are the MDC. We were there and we stood violence in 2000, in 2005, in 2008. I was particularly targeted for incarceration during the constitution making process. I did 27 days in Mutare Remand Prison during the inclusive camp. And from there, we did not wave. We fought delimitation. We were punished by ZEC. 87 of our members were disqualified. I had to pull out. And now that we've started the fight against the 2030 agenda, there are some people being sent by ZANU-PF to attack my person, my officials, and even to try to cause my arrest. We are prepared for that. That is the cost of democracy, isn't it, Tatet? They say that every man or woman has a fair share of bad work to do. And until that work is done, he is not free, he or she is not free. Until Zimbabweans are completely free, Douglas Mwonzora is not free because the constitution is being emasculated. And if you see the people causing violence, they don't want democracy. And their history tells it that they don't want to practice democracy. For them, democracy is just a byword. But for us, democracy ought to be a way of life. So yes, we are prepared to do everything in defense of our constitution, in defense of the legacy that we want to leave our future generations. We want to make sure that we make rules and regulations on how those youngsters are going to govern each other when we are long gone. When you win, I'm talking to the future now, when you win presidency, the day you are sworn in, look at the calendar. There will be 2 dates there. The date that you are getting in and the date that you are getting out. That's what we want to do. But you see people scampering this process. When we did the press conference and the church spoke, some people felt left out. And there was that awkward flash demonstration and applied for and so on. Why? So that the police will act and arrest people. Why? So that it will discourage future protests. That was the aim.
Okay, Senator, before we go, I would want to hear from you your message to specifically 3 sectors of Zimbabwe or 3 sections of Zimbabwe as a community. To Zimbabweans, number 1, in generality, the generality of Zimbabweans. Number 2, to every dissenting voices against the injustice that is currently pertaining. And number 3, to ZANU-PF.
Oh, thank you very much.
In just a few sentences.
Okay, thank you. To the people of Zimbabwe, you voted for your constitution in 2023. and your constitution is the only covenant you have with the rulers. It governs your relationship with the rulers. It tells the rulers what they cannot do to you. You must protect and defend this constitution. You must vote no on the referendum. To all the dissenting voices in Zimbabwe, it is good that we are seeing things the same way, but we are seeing it from a fragmented point of view. It is high time that we close ranks. If yesterday we fought, if yesterday we called each other names, this is the time to unite together. Whether we are MDC, Triple C, Ndonga, or whatever political party you are, it's time to close rank and fight on behalf of the people of Zimbabwe. To ZANU-PF, I know that ZANU-PF is divided, but to the genuine ZANU-PF, you fought the war of liberation. A lot of people died, and they died for a reason. They died for democracy. They died for the rights to land, the rights to the minerals, and the rights to the flora and fauna of our country. Our minerals are being stolen. Our flora and fauna is being destroyed, and our wealth is being being distributed in a skewed manner in favor of the haves and against the have-nots. It is high time that we put things together. After all, we wrote this constitution together, and we must defend it together. So it doesn't matter whether you are ZANU-PF or MDC or opposition, or MDC and opposition. What is important is that something wrong is going to be done. As we voted in 2020, in 2013, we voted yes for the constitution. We should vote yes together against its desecration.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator, for your thoughtful insights. And any lasting remarks you might have?
Yes, I want to take this opportunity, Tatela, to plead with people within the opposition. It is not good that we should direct violence against one another. Resort to violence as a means of achieving political supremacy is anachronistic. It is barbaric. It is anti-Zimbabwe. It is anti-Ubuntu. When we go to funerals, we must remember that those are not political rallies. They are people who are grieving. They are people who don't belong to your party who are there, but who are as affected as you are. There is no better mourner at a funeral. We lost Gredmo Hakata. He was our colleague. All of us, MDC Triple C, he was our colleague for many years. He was in the trenches for many years. We interacted with him in different ways. I was his lawyer, his family lawyer. All those court cases that he went to, I was the lawyer defending him. And on the funeral, then I'm barred from mourning him. We should stop that. We should close ranks, and we should fight for one thing. We should fight for what is in the best interest of Zimbabwean people as a collective. The time for elections is going to come. We are going to contest, but this is the time to close ranks and work together.
Thank you so much, Senator, once again. And thank you so much to our viewers and listeners. And as nature would have it, there's a certain statement that I always go by, that change can be slow and ponderous, and at times tiresome. But when things come to a head, it can be sudden and cataclysmic, toppling hitherto unshakable dictators. And ladies and gentlemen, things are coming to a head. Thank you so much. Till next time.